I beat hardcore Minecraft without hurting a single mob, including the Ender Dragon. The first thing I had to do was find a village. While doing this pacifist challenge, there are 3 rules I have to follow. First, no melee damage. No punchies, smackies, boops, bops, or straight claps. Second, no projectiles, explosives, or lava buckets. Third, the game mode has to be hardcore. I had some thoughts about how I was going to complete this challenge, but the one problem that felt impossible was the Ender Dragon. I legitimately was not sure if it was even possible to kill the Ender Dragon with these rules. Go ahead, pause the video, and see if you can think of a way to win with these rules. I had no idea, but I was going to figure it out. Since I didn't have any iron for shears, and I couldn't hurt a sheep, I had to run through the night to find a village. I ducked and dodged and was so tempted to smack some of these mobs. But I kept my pacifist ways and found the perfect village. In order to beat Minecraft, you only need 3 things: obsidian, pearls, and blaze rods. Getting obsidian was the easiest task. I got a shield, found a cave, and then trapped some zombies so I could strip mine in peace. Bada bing, bada boom, obsidian. After this, I decided to hop on a creative world to test some different ideas of how to beat the Ender Dragon with these pacifist rules. My first thought was to try and see if I could use blocks. Sand can fall and bury you and thus kill you, and the same is true with mobs. I wouldn't be hitting the dragon, and it wasn't a projectile. But almost immediately after trying this, I remembered that not only can the Ender Dragon destroy blocks, it can also pass through them. And so my next idea was to use an anvil instead of sand. Anvils are able to hit mobs and cause a huge amount of damage. I thought for sure this was going to be the loophole that let me beat the pacifist challenge. But like a punch to the gut, I realized that anvils also don't affect the Ender Dragon. I was starting to grow certain that this really wasn't possible. But I didn't give up yet, and I went back to the pacifist challenge. The second task was to get pearls. This was honestly pretty easy to do as a pacifist. I just had to get a bunch of gold, go to the nether, and find some piglins to trade with. Bada bing, bada boom, poils. And so this brought me to the final and hardest task before the dragon: blaze rods. The one and only way to get a blaze rod is by killing a blaze, which is strictly against pacifism. But then an idea struck me. I'm not allowed to attack anything, but a pack of wolves that obey my every command? Now that's a different story. I needed bones for taming and meat for feeding, both of which inconveniently come from mobs dying. The bones were actually easy to get because I could use other mobs against the skeletons and do the dirty work for me. The meat was a little harder to figure out. I couldn't directly do any harm to the sheep or cows, but I needed them to die somehow. While figuring out a solution and letting them breed, the idea of the wolves got me thinking about the Ender Dragon again. What if I used another mob to kill the Ender Dragon for me? I went back into my creative world to test out a wolf army against the dragon. Another flop. The wolves needed a platform to reach the dragon, but the Ender Dragon immediately destroyed the platform and the wolves. My next thought was, what about an iron golem? They're tall enough to reach and do way more damage. Even the golems couldn't touch the thing, and then the dragon would just fly away. So then I thought, Okay, Dragon, two can play at that flying game. But then my bees got insta-deleted the moment that they made contact. I needed a mob that could attack at range. So I tried sending in the snow golems. But as I worried would happen, snowballs did literally no damage to the tanky dragon. I had one last, desperate, crazy idea. There was one mob that checked all the boxes. It can fly, it has ranged attacks, and it causes a ton of damage. The Wither. So I spawned 2 Withers to take down the winged monstrosity. I was so excited to see that they finally locked onto the Ender Dragon, and they were doing no damage. It was at this point that I knew something was up. Their attacks were landing, and I knew that they packed a punch. And then I found this. Explosions and player-based damage. The 2 things explicitly not allowed in the Pacifist Challenge rules. Honestly, I just made up the idea of a pacifist run and the rules that come with it. I had no idea if it was possible. And this was factual proof that it wasn't. Or so I thought. I got back to my livestock and blessedly thought of a way to get meat from the cows and sheep without breaking the rules. Yes, come to the wheat. And to your death. With this meat, I was able to breed a wolf army and was ready for the blazes. We got the blaze rods, got out of there, and got scars. Scars that will never be forgotten.
Let me go on without you. Let me go on without you. Let me go on without you.
Bada bing, bada boom, blaze rods. Though I still had no clue what I was going to do about the dragon. After getting beat up by the blazes, I thought I had better get some mending for my armor. When all of a sudden, oh my. We're in business, baby! No melee damage, no projectiles, no explosives. I literally could not believe my eyes. The Pacifist Challenge was possible. I slapped thorns onto everything I could, and now it was time. After all the crystals were down, I approached Big Papa himself. It was actually harder than what I thought. I had to be careful to let the Ender Dragon get in as many hits as possible, but make sure that I didn't die. Not only was this risky, but also my armor was breaking way faster than I expected. But Mama didn't raise no fool! The wheel brought enchanting bottles with him. I mended my armor, let the dragon defeat itself, and enjoyed a shower of XP, all with the clear conscience of a pacifist. This took me 77 Minecraft days. Let me know if you can do the Pacifist Challenge faster, or find another way to beat the Ender Dragon. Oh wow.